Hello and welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. And that's right, we are about to do some bracketology here on Sports Fan Entertainment. Now let me be honest, okay? Let me preface this video. I don't know much about college basketball, but I thought this would be fun. I'm gonna fill out my bracket for you guys, inject some humor in there because I don't know what I'm talking about, and then we will leave. But if you want to put your bracket up against mine, I created a Sports Fan Entertainment group, okay, for ESPN.com. The link and the password will be in the description box below. All you have to do is click the link. If you haven't created your bracket yet, create it and then join the group. Password is SFE, all lowercase SFE. It shouldn't be that too hard to do. So let's start up here in the East bracket. We have Villanova versus MS/NO. Basically, this is a play-in game. I'm not sure who this is. I don't care. I'm picking Villanova to defeat Wisconsin here. We move on, or not Wisconsin, whoever the hell they face. We move on to Wisconsin versus Virginia Tech. And Wisconsin, I really was impressed by their victory lately. I think they blew out Northwestern like 76-48. I like Wisconsin to win here, even though they do not have Bo Ryan, that old man, anymore. We look at UVA versus UNC Wilmington. I don't know or care for UNC Wilmington. I have UVA winning there. We have Florida versus ETSU. I like Florida lately. Florida stinks against Vanderbilt, but against almost everyone else, they normally do a very good job. I like Florida to go pretty far in this tournament, as you will see. We have SMU versus PR/SC. Again, I don't really care who PR or SC is. I think PR maybe Providence. SC, it's not South Carolina, so I don't know who it is. I don't care. I have SMU winning that one. No upsets yet, but trust me, they're coming. We move on to Baylor versus New Mexico State. Baylor has not been doing well lately. They really frighten me, but New Mexico State shouldn't be too big of a problem for Baylor. I have Baylor winning this one, but not too much after that, I can tell you that. We have South Carolina versus Marquette. Give me Marquette. I've not been too impressed with South Carolina this season. I think Marquette will come into this tourney looking to win at least one game. Give me Marquette. And we have Duke and Troy. Come on. Give me Duke to win this matchup. We'll go back up. We have Villanova versus Wisconsin. Now, I think Villanova is going to leave pretty early in this tournament, man. They won last year. They're not going to have the same sort of urgency, fever in their, hearts, same sort of passion. I don't see it. But Wisconsin isn't great. If Bo Ryan was coaching this team, I would pick Wisconsin, but Villanova should at least be able to get to the Sweet 16. We have Florida versus UVA. Again, guys, I like Florida. They stink against Vanderbilt. They stink. But against everyone else, they're pretty good. I like Florida. We look at SMU versus Baylor. Give me SMU. Baylor loves to choke in the tournament. Baylor's been choking in the tournament for years. They've been fading late. They did not look very good lately at all. Give me SMU to defeat Baylor. We have Marquette versus Duke. Give me Duke to win this one, although I do believe Duke is being a little overrated lately. I don't think they should be the favorites to win the tournament as they are. We have Villanova versus Florida. Guess who I like? Florida. I think Florida's going to the Elite Eight. I think they're going to defeat Villanova. Again, I don't think Villanova's going to have that same sort of passion and urgency that they had last season. It's just human nature. Give me Florida to win, despite not having Billy Donovan anymore. They've moved on now nicely. We have SMU versus Duke, and although I do believe Duke is a little overrated, just a little though, give me Duke, okay? Because they're going to win this game. Even if they don't face SMU, if they face Baylor, if they face PR/SC, I don't care. Give me Duke to go there, and then we'll go ahead and do the final four. Whoever gets to the final four here, we have the Elite Eight, Florida versus Duke. Again, I think Duke is a little overrated, but I will take Duke to win this matchup. So there goes the East. Let's move on to the Midwest. We have Kansas versus NC. That's UD. I think UD may be University of Delaware. NC, I don't know, because it's not in North Carolina. I don't care. Give me Kansas. I really like Kansas this year, as you guys will find out momentarily. We have Miami versus Michigan State. Tom Izzo for Michigan State. But man, this MSU team, they're not that good this season. Miami has had some impressive victories, man. Give me Miami to beat Tom Izzo in the first round. We have Iowa State. I almost said Ohio State. Iowa State versus Nevada. Iowa State, they've had some nice victories this season. They should be able to beat Nevada pretty easily. Give me Iowa State. We have Purdue versus Vermont. I don't care much for Purdue, so it wouldn't shock me if Vermont won, but go ahead and give me Purdue. I won't go upset here. But now let's start with some upsets, man. We have Creighton versus URI. URI being the University of Rhode Island, I believe, and they've been playing well lately. I like Rhode Island to beat Creighton here. Again, they've been playing well lately. I like how they're playing. They're one of those teams that sneaks into the tournament, plays really well. They've been hot lately. Give me this URI. We look at Oregon versus Iona. I don't know what this Iona is. Sounds like some sort of disease. Give me Oregon. Oregon's been very good this season. They've been in intense Pac-12 play, or whatever Pac number it is. Is it Pac-10, Pac-12, Pac-15? I don't care. They've been good in that Pac conference, and I like how they've been playing this season. We move on to Michigan versus Oklahoma State. Michigan's been playing well lately. I think they won their Big Ten tournament. They almost got into a plane crash or something like that. They've been playing motivated lately. Give me Michigan to beat Oklahoma State. We have Louisville versus Jacksonville State. Give me Louisville all day. Why are we even talking about that? We move back up. We have Kansas versus Miami. Give me Kansas to move on to the Sweet 16. We have Iowa State versus Purdue. Again, I don't care much for Purdue. Let me get Iowa State to win here. We have URI versus Oregon. Possible upset here, but let me just play it safe here and have Oregon going to the Sweet 16. We have Michigan versus Louisville. Again, Michigan could really upset here, and Louisville has kind of been a little overrated to me. In fact, their versus the top 25, they're 4-7. That concerns me. Michigan, on the other hand, is 4-2 versus top 25 teams. Guess who has an upset here? I do. I have Michigan beating Louisville. We move on to now the Sweet 16 matchups. Kansas versus Iowa State. Again, I really like Kansas. I think they have such a good dichotomy in relationship, how they use Josh Jackson and Frank Mason. I love that duo. As long as Josh Jackson has his head on straight, that guy's a great player. We have Kansas moving on there. We have Oregon versus Michigan, and I'm going to play a little safe now because I'm not 100% sure Michigan is going to make it this far. Let me have Oregon going to the, Elite Eight. Okay, and then we finally have Kansas versus Oregon. Give me Kansas. Again, I really like Bill Self. I like Josh Jackson, Frank Mason. I like their relationship and how they play together. Give me Kansas to move on. We move down to the West bracket. We have Gonzaga versus South Dakota State. Now, Gonzaga loves to choke, okay, but they should get this one done. We have Northwestern versus Vanderbilt. Hello? Where do I go to college? Oh, yeah, that's right. Shout out to DJ Baptiste. Shout out to Jeff Robinson on the basketball team. We move on to Notre Dame versus Princeton. I have Princeton beating Notre Dame here. Look, Notre Dame, I don't know. I don't trust them in basketball terms. I know they're play a lot in the ACC. Maybe they're in the ACC, but I don't know. I like Princeton. I think they're undefeated in their conference. And usually sometimes these Ivy League teams, man, they like to come in here and get some upsets in. So give me Princeton. We have West Virginia versus Bucknell. And this Bucknell beat Vanderbilt. Okay, I know this for sure. So this is a little concerning for me, but I like West Virginia to get the W here. We move on to Maryland versus Xavier. Xavier could upset here, but I think the Maryland Terps, have been more impressive this season. Give me the Terps. You have Florida State versus Florida Gulf. Florida Gulf Coast. And look, this Florida Gulf Coast, as we've seen, they know how to upset. They love to dunk, right? That's their move. Florida State, although they're normally a football university, they've been much better at basketball lately. I've been impressed with them, at least early on in the season. They've kind of faded late, though. there's a high upset possibility here, but let me play it safe here and go with Florida State, although again, there's a high probability for an upset there, I'll give you that. You have St. Mary's versus VCU, and I don't care for either one of these teams, honestly. Let me just pick St. Mary's. They're higher. Why not? Actually, hell, let me just pick VCU because I want another upset in. Let's have Arizona versus North Dakota. I like Arizona there. Let's move back up. We have Gonzaga versus Vanderbilt. Now, will I be a homer again? Will I pick Vandy again to beat Gonzaga? I'm telling you, there's a chance, but no. I will betray my own university and I'll pick Gonzaga to beat Vanderbilt there, but hopefully I'm wrong there. We move on to Princeton versus West Virginia. I gotta go West Virginia, although I do like Princeton to upset early. I just can't pick them to go to the Sweet 16. We have Maryland versus FSU, and again, I don't love FSU. I like them early on in the season, but not as much lately. I don't really care who I pick to win here because I really like Arizona, so let me just pick Maryland. F it. We have the Terps going to the Sweet 16. And then we have VCU versus Arizona. I like Arizona. We move back up. Gonzaga versus West Virginia. And Gonzaga, man, they love to choke, man. They've choked in years past in this tournament. But I like them this year, man. Give me Gonzaga to go to the Elite Eight. We have Maryland versus Arizona. I really like Arizona, that Laurie McCarnan kid and how they play, and now they're getting healthy. Give me Arizona. And then we have Gonzaga versus Arizona. Give me Arizona to beat Gonzaga. Gonzaga's not going to the Final Four to me. I just can't pick that. Give me Arizona. We move on to the South. We have UNC versus Texas Southern. Give me UNC, although I do believe they're overrated. I think these ACC teams are overrated. Give me UNC, though, to win this matchup against Texas Southern. We have Arkansas versus Seton Hall. No one knows or cares about Seton Hall. Arkansas's looked actually pretty good in SEC play. Give me Arkansas to win there. We have Minnesota versus Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders. And let me tell you about MTSU. I got a couple friends over at MTSU. They upset last year. They're going to upset again. Give me MTSU to defeat Minnesota. We have Butler versus Winthrop. I don't know or care for Winthrop. I don't know what that is. Sounds like a venereal disease. Give me Butler to beat Winthrop. We move on to Cincinnati versus, I believe this is either Wake Forest or Kansas State. Give me, actually, whoever the hell this is, whoever wins this matchup. I don't care for Cincinnati. I never have in either football or basketball. I don't think they have the stuff in them to win big matchups. I've never seen it. Give me WF or Kansas State or, whoever the hell these colleges are. I really don't care. We move on to UCLA versus Kent State. Lonzo Ball being the superstar of this tournament, really. And I'm going to pick him. Okay, I'm going to pick him to win there against Kent State. Should not be a problem there at all. We move on to Dayton versus Wichita State. Man, these white boys in Wichita State, they know how to get it done. That's their move. Give me Wichita State to beat Dayton. We have Kentucky versus North Kentucky or Northern Kentucky. Give me Kentucky to win this one. I really like Kentucky more than other people. We move on to UNC versus Arkansas. And again, I think UNC is a little overrated, man. I think there's an upset probability here. I'm going to pick, surprisingly, maybe I'll be way off on this. Give me Arkansas. I like Arkansas to upset UNC. I really think UNC is overrated. I don't think they're that good. We move on. Again, I'm not going to give you any facts or any evidence to back this up. I'm a complete layman when it comes to this crap, if you haven't noticed already. You have Middle Tennessee State versus Butler, okay? I'm not going to pick my MTSU boys again. I just can't do it. Give me Butler to move on to the, Sweet 16. We move on to WF or Kansas State, Wake Forest or Kansas State versus UCLA, and UCLA should get it done here. We have Wichita State versus Kentucky. Give me Kentucky there. We have Arkansas and Butler. Man, I'm going to go with Butler here. Although, man, now that I'm thinking about it, do I really like Butler to go this far, man? I don't know about that. But fine, I'll stick with it. Let's have Butler going to, the Elite Eight. And now UCLA versus Kentucky. Give me Kentucky, who I really like. And I think these two teams actually faced. And I want to say that Kentucky won. Let me see if I can find that matchup at all. No, UCLA won by 5 at Kentucky. Now that is interesting. But I like Kentucky, man. They've been playing well lately. Won the SEC tournament, man. Malik Monk, Idris Adebayo, and company. All right, I like Kentucky. Then we have Butler versus Kentucky. I like Kentucky. Again, I think John Calipari is going to have a run in him this season. We move on to the Final Four. We have Duke versus Arizona and Kansas versus Kentucky. First of all, Duke versus Arizona. Now, Duke has the star power. They have that Luke Kennard. They have that clown Grayson Allen who loves tripping anybody and everybody. Rumor has it he tripped his own mom when he came out of the womb. I'm going to go with, again, I started this video by saying I think Duke is a little overrated, but man, now that I'm seeing them there, and I know the talent that they have. I like Jason Tatum. I really like Jason Tatum, actually, man. Give me Duke to win this matchup. Give me Duke to go to the national championship, despite my dumbass saying that they're a little overrated. We move on to Kansas versus Kentucky. I like Kentucky, man. I like John Calipari, Malik Monk, Idris Adebayo, Isaiah Briscoe, De'Aaron Fox. Is Isaiah Briscoe on their team or is he on Duke? I don't know. I don't care. Give me... Man, this is tough. It's really assuming that Malik Monk continues to play well, because whenever he has bad shooting nights, they can get into some trouble, Kentucky. But you know what? F it. I don't want to have Duke versus Kentucky though in the national championship. I mean, that just sounds like such a layman pick, like just such a casual fan pick. You know, you can't explain that away and say that I know anything having that sort of matchup. So give me Kansas, okay? Just because I don't want to have Duke, Kentucky. It just seems too easy to have Duke, Kentucky there. And then finally, we have Duke versus Kansas. Again, I like the seniority of a Frank Mason coupled with the young and explosive, potentially explosive and elite defensive play from Josh Jackson, as long as he keeps his head on straight. I think Bill Self has been long overdue now for another national championship run. And Duke, if they make it this far, man, they've been known to finish, though, so you have to consider that as well. But you know what? Give me Kansas. I like Kansas to win the 2017 national championship, to be the winners of March Madness of the NCAA tournament. Again, it's assuming that Josh Jackson can keep his head on straight, Frank Mason can continue to play well, and Bill Self can will his team to a higher level than they've been in quite a while. But overall, I like this bracket. I had a good amount of upsets, not too many. And again, if you want to face me, again, I don't know what I'm talking about. But the interesting thing about me is, even though I don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know what I'm doing, I've actually been pretty damn good with brackets in my history. I had Michigan State going to the Final Four when they did a couple years ago with Denzel Valentine or something like that, just a couple years ago. I had the Julius Randle Kentucky team winning it all. They didn't, but I had them going that far. No one had them going that far. I had Duke winning when they won, even though I don't know what I'm doing. You'll find that sometimes, man, my brackets end up being pretty good. So go up against me, see if you know more than someone who doesn't know what they're doing, and that will be fun. Again, the SFE picks, what is this? Not picks. The SFE March Madness 2017 Challenge. Again, link will be in the description box below. Password will be in the description box below. Create your bracket and put in the password. Join the group and have fun facing off against me. No prizes this time because I'm not going to give up a prize for beating me at something of which I know I'm not good at. So there you go. Those are my picks. That is my bracket, my bracketology for the 2017 March Madness NCAA tournament. What are your thoughts on this? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. And I'm out. Peace.